What's up? Welcome back to my channel. Super excited you made it here today. We have a new background at the moment. This is part of my living room and kitchen and entryway. So if you're wondering where I'm at, that's where I'm at. Anyways, today's video is going to be kind of a different one. I've been doing a lot of different videos lately, just trying to get a feel of what you guys like on my channel, so I hope that's okay. This video is inspired by Jamie Page Beauty. She just did this. And I think she was inspired by somebody else too, so I will add that in if I can find who the original person of this video was. But the one I saw that inspired me was Jamie Page Beauty, so that's what I'm going to credit right now. Hey guys, this is Future Taylor here. I'm just popping in to tell you there is some background static in the first part of this video because they are working on the apartment above us and replacing their water heaters. So there's a lot of banging and static and some hums in the first part of this, but I promise it doesn't last the whole video. About halfway through it drops off and you can't hear it anymore. So just bear with me. I am sorry about that. Anyways, her video was a revisiting old favorites. So that's kind of what we're doing today. And I'm going to be revisiting my old favorites from 2016. 2016 is when I started my blog. YouTube's been relatively new for me as one of my channels, but I've been blogging for 2.5, almost 3 years this year. That's crazy. And in 2016, I really started delving into the makeup world. So I am pulling my favorites from a post that I did back in June of 2016 of my beauty favorites. So I have a list of all the products I was using back then, comparing them to what I use now, and kind of talking about whether or not I still use them. Are they still my favorites? Have I decluttered them over the last 2.5 years? I guess we will find out right now. Okay guys, so I got my list out. And let's dive into this. So 2016, man, what a ride. That was the year I got married, I graduated college. It's like a big year for me, okay? I was 21 and like living my best life, so I had all these makeup products that I thought were the shiz. Some of them were, kind of, and some of them were definitely not. So really glad that I have grown in my makeup skills since then, especially in the kind of products that I really enjoy. So here's what I've got. So to start off, I was an Urban Decay junkie. If I could have put Urban Decay in an IV and just like shot myself up with it, 100% would have. I was obsessed with Urban Decay, which I still love Urban Decay products, don't get me wrong. I have a lot of stuff from them I love, but I have a lot of stuff that are misses for me now. So some of these things in this list I don't actually have anymore because I've decluttered them over the years. They're not products that I use. But the first one is well, I guess the most notable thing here is I didn't use primer in 2016, so that is not on my list. But on my list is, we start with foundation. So I use the Urban Decay Naked Skin Foundation. Now there's nothing wrong with this foundation. If somebody were to hold a gun to my head and say you have to use this foundation, I could use it. It's fine. But I have found other foundations that I like a lot better now. So that was a really medium coverage. I think that it oxidized a little more than I want to admit, looking back at pictures, but it's not a bad foundation. I was in the shade 2 if you're wanting to find that foundation and match it to yourself, but I mean, it was fine. It was totally fine. Next was the Urban Decay Naked Skin Concealer. I did not vary very much in my foundation and concealer. I liked this line. It worked for me at the time, and that's, at the time, Urban Decay was pretty high-end for me, so I felt really good to like be able to buy that for myself. Hi, Isabel. How you doing? So yeah, so that was my thing. I loved it. I still think the Naked Skin Concealer is good. I have other concealers that I think are a little bit better for my skin type now that I like. So if I'm talking about my foundation now, I have my Makeup Forever Ultra HD Perfector Skin Tint. So this is no secret that this is my favorite. I talk about it all the time on my channel. And I am in the shade 3 or 4. I can go back and forth between them. And this is absolutely my favorite. I definitely stick to more light coverage foundations now as a general rule, just because my skin's a little bit on the drier end. I don't think full coverage matte foundations look very good on me anymore, so I'm loving skin tints, and then I like to pair my light skin tints with a full coverage concealer where I need it. So I'm really in love with the Maracuja Creaseless Concealer, so I would definitely say that that's my favorite right now, is this concealer. And so comparatively, you know, I have a heavier concealer than the Urban Decay, and I have a lighter foundation. So I just kind of switched it up with my foundation and concealer. Okay, another difference is I use the Urban Decay, what's new, Urban Decay mattifying powder. I also do not have this because I threw it away. Nobody should use this. It was a white powder that caused incredible flashback when I took pictures, and it just wasn't cute, and I don't know why I thought it was the end-all be-all of powders, but I raved about it. This is back when I was just writing my blog and not filming beauty videos, so I literally wrote like 4 paragraphs on this mattifying powder. I don't know, man. I don't know. Nowadays, I stick with definitely not a matte powder. I go much more towards light coverage illuminating setting powders, and my current favorite is the Laura Geller Baked Balance and Glow Illuminating Foundation. It definitely has a glow from within kind of look, and I'm about to hit pan on it, which is breaking my heart, so I'm gonna have to get another one. But I mean, I love this stuff. So I strayed much farther away from the mattifying powders and go more for illuminating now. Okay, moving on. Okay, so next I would say bronzers. So back in the day, 2 years ago, I used the Tarte Park Avenue Princess Bronzer every day of my life. This is probably the 3rd one that I have hit pan on. That is saying a lot for a product because you don't use a ton of bronzer, and this is the 3rd one I've hit pan on. So I mean, I loved it. I still like it. There's nothing wrong with this. I sometimes pull this out to use. I think that it's a great bronzer formula. Like I still really enjoy this formula. However, if I were to have to pick my favorite bronzer now, I go back and forth much more often between my Laura Geller Baked Bronzer, looks like this, and my Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. So I would say these two are definitely the 2 bronzers that I like the most now versus the Park Avenue Princess. But honestly, like, the Park Avenue Princess formula is so similar to this Laura Geller Baked Bronzer that I could interchange them no problem. So definitely I still have it, and I still pull it out to use from time to time. Okay, alright, what do we got next? I think blush. Okay, so for blush, I don't have this product either from my 2016 favorite, but it is the Milani Rose Blush. It's a really beautiful packaging. If you've never seen it, they have it like pressed into this rose formula? It's like just pressed into this little thing that looks like a rose. And it's super pretty. However, it was way too pink for me now. Like, I'm much more of a natural coral toned blush kind of girl versus a bright pink blush, and the shade that I was using in that Milani blush was bright pink, and I don't think, looking back on pictures and stuff like that, that it was super flattering. So nowadays I definitely gear more towards, if I want a matte blush, I go for my Sigma Cor de Rosa blush is what I reach for if I want a matte blush, and it's so almost nude, and it just is just like a hint of color. And if I want something illuminating, I go for my Pixie and Aspen Ovard Rome Rose. It's got a really beautiful gold reflect, and it also is just super natural looking, which I really enjoy much more than a bright pink. Okay, next we have eyeshadow probably. So eyeshadow. I mean, I won't say I had terrible taste in eyeshadows. I won't say I had awesome taste in eyeshadows. Okay, let's put it that way. My favorite palette was the Naked palette. Now, I like the Naked palettes, and I still will buy every Naked palette that they release. simply because I now have to complete the collection, and that's who I am as a person. So now that I have all of the Naked palettes up to this point, I'm just gonna have to get all of them. However, since I have tried so many other eyeshadow products, I will say that this is not the best eyeshadow palette, nor do I ever reach for it nowadays. I mean, there aren't very many matte shadows in here. There's only one transition shade, which makes it hard to use these shimmers up here because there's no transition shade for those. You have Buck and Naked as the only mattes in this entire palette, and back in the day I thought shimmers were the bomb, so I wasn't upset about that. Nowadays that I am definitely better at doing my makeup and understand makeup a little bit more, I realize how incomplete this palette actually is, so I really don't reach for it. You can see though this is the palette from 2 years ago. I never replaced it or anything, but I did hit pan on quite a few of these because some of them were really beautiful. A Sidecar, for example, I'm still looking for a single shadow in Sidecar because I love it so much. I think it's a beautiful, beautiful color. But there are a lot of misses. I mean, I haven't even touched these over here because there was no way for me to use them. I couldn't use them without a transition color. I didn't have all those shadows in my collection yet. I think it was just a really incomplete palette. But I loved it back then. I loved it. So nowadays, the palettes that I'm using are, I mean, this one is really hard for me because I go back and forth, and depending on my look, I use all kinds of different shadows. But right now, the palette that I'm loving the most, which I didn't see it coming, guys, is the Chocolate Gold palette. I literally love this palette so much. I think it's amazing. So basically, and this is super contradictory for all the reasons that I just named that I don't like the Naked palette, okay? I get it. But this is the Chocolate Gold palette. It's gorgeous. The shimmers in it are like so good. They're just so good. I don't even know. And they have great little transition colors and matte shades on this corner over here. I've been pulling out and using this pretty much every day because I love the So Bougie and Cocoa Truffle matte shades. I think they blend beautifully. I think the quality of this palette is so high, and I don't have a problem now mixing with other palettes of mine to pull transition colors if I need them. But I mean, if I had to pick a palette that I'm using almost every day, this is it. So I realize it's contradictory. But I've also been pretty obsessed with my new Alamar Cosmetics Reina de Caribe palette that I talked about in my BoxyCharm unboxing from this month. It looks like this. It's gorgeous, and it's like everything you need for a pop of summer color. It has orange and red and brown and beautiful metallics and blue and teal. It's just like everything I've been wanting to pull from for summer. So this has definitely been chilling on my vanity along with this. So these are the two that I'd say I'm using the most right this second. But honestly, eyeshadows change all the time because I use all different ones for all different looks. So that one was hard for me to kind of pick a favorite. Okay, so after that, probably, what do we got? Eyeliner? Yeah. So eyeliner, actually, back in 2016 was the Stylist Day All Day Liquid Liner, and that is still my favorite eyeliner. I've probably gone through, if I'm being totally honest, like 10 of these in the last 2 years. I use them so much. It is my 100% go-to liquid eyeliner, and it has been for 2 years. Here he is. Have you decided to join the party? Do you want to be on camera? What's your deal, dude? Anyways, I think this is the best eyeliner still to this day I've ever used. It's matte, it's black, it's waterproof, it doesn't move. I feel like it stays all day, it doesn't smudge. There's nothing wrong with this eyeliner, and I haven't had a reason to change favorite eyeliners. This is just the one I love. So, still good 2 years later. Alright, let's see. Mascara. So, mascara, 2016. I was not messing around with my Better Than Sex mascara. And I found an old, probably from my honeymoon 2 years ago, old tube of waterproof Better Than Sex mascara. I don't think I've repurchased this since my post went live about my beauty favorites. I still love Better Than Sex mascara. I think that the wand is still great. The formula is still awesome. I mean, there's nothing wrong with this mascara. I've just found mascaras that I like better. So there's nothing wrong with this. I still think it's a great mascara. Just I haven't had the need to repurchase because I've been trying to go through tubes of new mascaras and things like that. So I just have been using other things. My current mascara favorite right now is the Tarte Lights Camera Lashes mascara because I am obsessed with the wand. I think it is perfect for bottom lashes and blending my lashes into my falsies. The other thing is I'm not really using mascaras as religiously as I did 2 years ago because I wear false lashes now. Back in 2016, I really wasn't messing around with false lashes. I didn't like wearing them. I didn't think they were comfortable, but to be honest, I just wasn't used to wearing them. About a year ago when I did my first round of 100 Days of Makeup Challenge, that's when I really started getting into false lashes because I needed them for the looks that I was creating for those 100 days. And now I rarely leave the house without false lashes, and so I don't really need a mascara that's volumizing and lengthening because I'm wearing lashes for that effect. So I'm not really like into mascara quite as much as I was 2 years ago. Okay, moving on. So the last thing on my list is lips. So 2 years ago, my favorite lip product, like hands down, was the Dior Addict Lip Glow in pink. And this stuff is still, I mean, I still love it. This is the same tube that I was using 2 years ago though. It smells really good. It's a kind of a pH changing lip balm. It shows up super, super pink on my lips. It's a little too pink for what I like now. I go for things that are a tiny bit more muted usually. And if I am going for a pink, I'd rather have like an opaque liquid lipstick or like a tube that's an actual pink rather than like a sheer balm pink. But I still pull it out every now and then to use, but I definitely wouldn't put it in my favorites anymore. But I would say my favorites right now, the combination that I've been reaching for the most is my Physicians Formula Organic Lip Treatment Lip Balm with my Fenty Gloss Balm over top. I love this combination. I think it's beautiful. The Fenty Gloss Balm is just absolutely stunning, and I use it all the time. So if I'm going to go for, you know, if I have to pull a liquid lipstick, if I have to pull a lipstick or a lip gloss combination that I think would match most of my stuff and I had to stick it in a bag and bring it with me, this is what I'm bringing with me nowadays. And the other difference between 2016 and now, I think, is the fact that back in 2016, I didn't wear any highlighter and I did not do my brows. I had the audacity to start a beauty blog and I didn't do my brows. What? Yeah, so basically I had no brow products in my favorites because I didn't do them. I just like called it a day and hoped they weren't hideous, which they were. And now I definitely am proud of how far my brows have come. They were so skinny. If I look back on wedding pictures, I'm like, oh honey. Not cute. Not cute. And I didn't fill them in. Even for my wedding, I didn't fill them in. So I gave zero anythings, I guess. But nowadays I am really into the Balm Ferocious Brow Pencil in medium brown, I believe. Light brown. In light brown, it's amazing. I think this is very, very comparable to the Urban Decay Brow Beater and the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Wiz. I think they're all pretty much the same. I interchange them all the time. This is just the one I happen to have in my vanity. And for highlighter, I really, really love the Mary Luminizer from the Balm as well. I think this is the best champagne highlight that I have. It can be anywhere from natural to blinding, depending on how much I build it up. And I have no complaints about this. It's always the first one I reach for when I'm going to do my highlights. So back in the day, I did neither of those because apparently I didn't care about looking attractive. But now I know better and I do it better. Know better, do better. You know what I mean? So that's kind of it, guys. I hope this video was as fun for you guys as it was for me. I mean, it was kind of neat looking back on all of my favorites from 2 years ago, especially looking back to see where I was in life 2 years ago. I had just gotten married like 2 months prior, and I am so much more in love with my husband now, even when we got married. I didn't think that was possible, but I'm pretty obsessed with my husband. He's pretty cool. But I just think like we were almost graduated from college and we didn't know where we were gonna go next part of our lives. Just like it's just fun to see where your life goes, you know, over 2 years. So looking back on this makeup was kind of like even more of a trip down memory lane for me, because I got to remember like I remember buying my first naked palette even, and I was so proud because it was so expensive for me, and I saved all my money. I wasn't getting PR. This wasn't my job. It was just a hobby, and I saved up all my money to buy that palette, and I thought that it was so amazing, and I just think that's cool to like remember where you were 2 years ago. And I feel like in 2 years from now I'll look back and think, holy crap, like I hope that my life is better in 2 years, and like that I'm doing makeup better and there are other things happening for me in my life. So I just think it's kind of neat to be able to take a glance and look at yourself from 2 years ago, you know? So that was super fun. This was really fun for me. If you guys like this kind of video, you want to see more monthly favorites or anything like that, definitely let me know in the comments below. I'm happy to film more videos like this with you guys where we're just kind of chatting and talking about different things. So let me know what you think in the comments below. I will definitely get back to you. Have an awesome rest of your week and weekend, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye guys!